What's up? I am Andy, aka Kushaba, lead developer at Lattice's in-house game studio. Today I want to present Strife, which is our take on a blockchain native real-time strategy game. We went into the project with the goal of proving, can we make a fun, scalable, real-time game on-chain using the Mud game engine? And when I say scalable, I don't just mean numbers of concurrent players or technical performance. I mean scalable from a development perspective. Because there are plenty of large Solidity code bases in this world, but contributing or interacting with them in any meaningful way is very difficult. So the question is, can we make something that is so easy to build on that all of our energy can be focused on a singular goal, and that's making things that people love? Strife takes place in the world of Amalgama. Amalgama is unique in that it exists in the dimensional equivalent of the low point in a room. The detritus of other worlds flows down from neighboring dimensions, which means Amalgama isn't a solid world at all, but a loose collection of land from vastly different landscapes. Sometimes entire groups of islands, called shards, appear in the sky. The people of Amalgama have made a tradition of competing on these islands for the rare and powerful artifacts they provide. Strife matches take place on these groups of islands, loosely linked together by magic portals. In this current iteration, up to 64 players can compete to retrieve a powerful artifact from the center of a shard, but only one can come out the winner. The goal is the Ember Crown. It grants great power to the wielder. If you can claim the crown and escape through a portal on the edge of the shard, defeating other players along the way, you are the victor. Now, if you've ever played classic RTS games like Warcraft or Age of Empires, you'll be familiar with Strife's gameplay. During the match, players capture territory in order to create vast armies. Success means managing the mass flow of your troops across the battlefield. Your units can also be upgraded by visiting summoning altars. 2 units can be sacrificed in order to gain a more powerful one. These units are a huge advantage in combat, but also paint a target on your back because of their power. If you're not careful, groups of players can easily overwhelm you with their smaller units. All of these aspects combine to create intense, complex battles. Here's an example of a live battle from a playtest recently. Anyone who's played Strife can tell you it requires speed, staying calm under pressure, and long-term strategic decision-making. And now we had one interesting challenge of developing on-chain, which is pacing. We can't completely uncap player actions. Bots would then dominate with infinite actions per minute. But we also can't go too slow. That's just boring and it won't engage players. So we came up with a novel system, a novel hybrid turn-based real-time action system. A player's units and structures all have action points, which is basically the currency they spend to do anything. In this way, action points are actually the main resource in Strife. Managing action point economy is the key to victory, and it creates a sense of rhythm in the match. You can find these powerful crystals littering the landscape that will increase action point regeneration of specific units. So with all of this, we've been in closed beta throughout the residency. We've held weekly playtests with over hundreds of unique players engaging. We've had bug fixes, features, and balance changes all requested by the community. And now I want to dive a bit into the tech that powers this. So obviously, this is a Lattice project. It is all built with Mud. And this has quickly become the largest stress test of Mud. We have a total of 43 components, 32 systems, and we just hit the milestone of 10,000 lines of Solidity. And this is not even touching on all the client code that's required to make this happen. Now, I don't want to glorify large code bases just for the sake of it. There are plenty of large and unwieldy code bases in this world. But the point I want to drive home is that even with all this surface area, we are still shipping. In my opinion, we've achieved our goal of code-based scalability. I can honestly say I focus all my energy on creating new fun features for players. New content cannot, by definition, cause new bugs in our system. So to really drive home that we've taken Strife blockchain native, this is what a swordsman looks like in the game engine. It is written in Solidity. It is configured using a series of components that describe what a swordsman is capable of. And if you wanted to add functionality to this, you simply add a component. I just added the flying component to this swordsman. Now that it has a flying component, the flying system will know this swordsman can fly. Nothing else needs to change in the game. With this, I can add new content seamlessly once the systems are in place. And in order to make maps with a high level of polish and detail, we created our own custom tools to export pixel art maps to an ECS file type. This image here will become a series of component values, which are then uploaded on-chain to describe the map. Giving community access to this map creation is a logical next step, which is a goal for this next year. So the question is now, what next? We have a fun on-chain gaming experience, and now we think it's time to take advantage of the unique affordances of blockchain. Introducing the first Strife artifact. This is the action point amplifier. It's going to be represented as an NFT and will be included in the next iteration of the game. Rewards from matches will persist in a player's Amalgama wallet. From your Amalgama wallet, you can take your powerful items into your next Strife match. You can both gain other items and then also gain resources needed to craft more and more powerful items. The key here is that every time you bring something into a Strife match, you are risking everything you have created. If you can't back up your powerful creations with skill, you will lose it all. All of this is represented in EIP 1155, which is unlocking all the economic potential on blockchain. And in order to develop this technology, we had to think about inter-mud world communication. The Amalgama contracts and the Strife contracts are completely separate, and we've developed bridges to go between these worlds trustlessly. I'm very excited to soon release these tools to the community as well. So, to finish off, I would like to end with a quote. This is from a recent playtest where someone just got done. They were having a lot of fun, and they turned to me and said, "This isn't actually on-chain, right?" And the point here is that we shouldn't think of blockchain technology as a limiting factor that will hinder our applications or games. It should be something that gives players more affordances and not less. And a fun thing I like to do is introduce Strife to people without even telling them it's an on-chain game, and so far, no one has noticed. All in all, this has been the largest stress test of MUD to date. I am a Lattice employee, so I do shill MUD all the time, but I really think of myself as a hardcore MUD user, and I'm a huge fan. So thank you to everyone who made this possible, all the other Lattice employees, the MUD open source contributors, and Hans Krill, who made all the beautiful art and world building that you just saw in this presentation. Thank you so much, and thank you for bearing with me being remote.